Hi everybody, it's Diana. Today we are going to take a look at all the reasons why Aries might feel like they're stuck and suggestions on how to break free from it. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this one want to come out. Oops. Okay. Let's see. Right away, when I look at these three cards, they speak essentially to some of the potential situations where you guys might feel out of sync or out of control or not having enough control or being completely stuck or being sucked into a situation where you don't have a lot of control. And right away, this card jumped at me because a lot of Aries I know are very on the go kind of people. You guys are about, a lot of you are about taking actions, moving forward into trying to achieve your goals. Of course, there's always going to be a balance between thinkers and doers. And I think a lot of you, your energy lean towards actions, leaning towards doing things. And when I look at this card, I'm thinking, well, one of the potential situations where you might not be that happy is you feel like there's absolutely no goal or no excitement in your life, where maybe you're at a dead-end job, maybe you're just doing something that you're reached at a point where you feel like all the newness, all the excitement have been taken out of the situation or this job or this relationship, where you're just repeating yourself day in and day out. You're like, oh my gosh, the same old, same old. That feels very much like that could be a situation where you're just so bored and frustrated. You just feel like stuck because there's absolutely no excitement. You feel like it's just the same thing over and over. And once you're bored, your brain sometimes tend to wander, and you are going to daydream about all the things that you can be doing or could be doing and that you're not. And you are going to very much feel like you're not reaching your potential, where you're not you don't have the freedom or the latitude to do what you really want to do. And then, I mean, of course you're going to feel stuck. That will make the most of us feel absolutely stuck. And then I am looking at, it's interesting how you're getting Ace of Wands and King of Wands right next to each other. Again, the King of Wands is also that energy of doing, absolutely being in control, taking charge of your situation. So if you, for example, if you're in a relationship where you just feel like you can't be yourself, you cannot express yourself or how you're feeling, or you are not being able to be who you truly are, I guess that's the feeling, you're not going to be happy. So for example, if your company is going through a massive rework, and because of that, they're sticking you into a role that's different from what you were doing before, and now you're doing a lot of the day-to-day stuff of something that doesn't, I guess, light your spark or make you feel like you are doing what you love. So for example, if you could, maybe you work for an ad agency and you were doing a lot of the creative design, a lot of the brand management stuff, and now all of a sudden you are stuck proofreading copies because that whole department has been downsized and you're still there. So in addition to what you were doing before, you have to do a lot of the, I guess, more boring stuff, for lack of a better term. You're just not going to be happy because you're going to feel like you're being saddled with all these boring responsibility, and you rather not be in the situation. So that could be a situation or a scenario, I should say, where you feel very unhappy, or maybe for whatever reason that you were in a relationship and something happened, and now you you feel like maybe your partner is going through a very difficult time or went through a difficult time and they're dealing with like some mental challenges or whatever the situation may be, where you feel like you can no longer speak your truth or be honest about how you're feeling and you feel like you're walking on eggshells. I mean, a very big part of Aries is like that whole fiery energy of you expressing who you are and really be able to give the freedom and the freedom to act, the freedom to think, and the freedom to be who you are. If that, for whatever reason, has been taken away from you, I think that could be quite dangerous to your overall happiness, and you're just not going to be able to put up with it for the long term. Or if you are putting up with it for the long term, I think it will really sort of like take the air out of your whole being, and you're just going to be miserable long term. And another way where I think you're just gonna be very, very unhappy is if you completely feel like you have lost your balance, because a lot of Aries are very entrepreneurial people. Whether you run your own business or you are an attorney, you have a lot of say in how you handle your day-to-day clients, how you handle your case. But if for whatever reason you are being saddled with a lot of additional responsibilities, and especially responsibilities that you don't enjoy, and you just feel like you are spiraling out of control where you don't have agency over yourself. You can't control your schedule. You can't control your own meetings because now you have to cover for a bunch of other things that, because one reason or another, you have to take on things that you don't like doing, and you just don't have like you have any kind of control or balance. I guess another way to put it is, all of a sudden, say you were running your own business and all of a sudden, I don't know, half the people quit or a lot of people are out sick, and there's just a lot of chaos, and all of a sudden you can't go through your daily routine in a way that you enjoy. Now our things are just flying, like, I guess, by the seat. You feel like you're flying by the seat of your pants, and typically you'll have 3 meetings, but now you have like 13 meetings, and clients are dropping in left and right to talk about all these sorts of different emergencies. These are things that will just, I think, drive most of us completely crazy, especially Aries. It's just going to make you guys feel like you're, I was going to say in the 9 circles of Dante's Inferno, but it's going to be a situation where you feel like, oh my gosh, I just can't put up with this much longer. But at the same time, the very responsible part of you feel like you kind of have to stick it out. And this is what may cause a lot of you feel like you're stuck, because on one hand you just want to break free, get a little bit of control and agency over back in your life, but a part of you feel like you have to stick it out and just sort of man the ship for the time being. And it's that lack of balance between what you truly want to do and what you need to do just to keep the ship going and everything afloat for a little bit longer. That's going to make you truly feel like your soul and your body, and you're just stuck mentally and physically and spiritually. Now, let's look at some of the potential suggestions that will help you break free, will at least feel a little bit better for the time being. Right away, I'm seeing this card. So I think in all of our lives, at least I hope for in all of our lives, that will be like that one person with that group of people that will bring a little bit more joy and happiness. So maybe you're in a very happy relationship. That grounds you. That's sort of your anchor. That's the word I'm thinking about. That's your anchor that's able to help you feel better. Or maybe your children brings you joy, and no matter how busy you get, whenever you read your bedtime stories with them, that centers you and make you feel like happy and joyful. Or if you maybe have a pet, and every time you walk your dog or cuddle with your cat, you feel that peace and serenity and that balance where you're able to really just recenter your life, recenter your mind. Or maybe lately you're learning how to meditate, and it doesn't have to be anything extended or prolonged. You could just download the Calm app and listen to it for 5-10 minutes a day, and that's able to bring your inner peace. Or you listen to some jazz music with your eyes closed every day for 5 minutes, and that brings your peace. There's very much about, a lot of times when we feel stuck, it could be physically we're stuck in a situation, or it could be mentally we're just in our own, we feel stuck for one reason or another. A lot of times maybe we're not able to break away so easily physically, but mentally, if you can give yourself that 5 minutes of time out, that 10 minutes of peace and quiet, where you can reconnect with whatever that you need to reconnect with to get the inner peace, it's going to at least help you feel like you're free mentally, and will help you deal with your situation at hand a little bit easier, at least for the time being, till you're able to find a better alternative and truly leave the situation. Or another element of this card is, if you're truly stuck in a, say, relationship that you're unhappy, if you can find some way to voice why you're unhappy and be able to at least start the first step of communicating and get the ball rolling in talking about it. Maybe you guys just needed to have that 15 minutes a day to catch up with each other and really sync or resync again to have your relationship feel better and start rebuilding that relationship. Or maybe that 15 minutes or that initial 10-minute conversation is what you need to look for, I guess, long-term help, whether it's like therapy or make some kind of adjustment, or go on vacation together, where you might realize just after talking for that 10-15 minutes regularly that you realize you both need to make time for each other and do a quick weekend getaway where you can truly reconnect and you feel like you are able to be at a much better place. Or if you're in a job that you absolutely just has gone out of control, where you feel like you're not being appreciated, where you have too much responsibilities, that's just everyone's leaning on you, have an honest conversation with your team or with your manager or with your business partners. I think it's a first step you need to bring more balance, more control back into your life or your relationship or your business venture, that will free you up so you're able to tackle the things and work on the projects that speaks to more to your passion. And I think Aries, you guys need passion, and that comes in different ways. It could be a passion in relationship, it could be physical passion, it could be the creativity you need in your day-to-day life, it could be the sense of feeling like you have some level of control and really push your business or your projects in the way you want. I think this will be a good first step to at least start to go down the right path. And 5 of Swords in this spread almost speaks to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. There is a sense of sometimes you need to take care of yourself, and that put yourself first. That could come in different ways. It could be a matter of self-care. Maybe no matter how busy you get, maybe you do need to take that 2 days off from work so you don't completely burn yourself out and just end up quitting your job or quitting that relationship. Maybe you just need a time out so you can put everything back in perspective, so things are a little bit more clear, so you can at least figure out what is it you need to do to make a positive change in your overall situation. And another element of this card could be, what have you learned from the past or the recent past? So one example is, if you find yourself you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, or a hard place. And then a lot of times in life, I feel like we are giving the opportunities to learn the same lessons over and over again until we actually learn what is it we need to learn. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're not happy and you want to get out, think back to your past, and think, was I in a situation where a similar situation in the past, maybe the recent past, maybe the distant past? And what did I do then? Did I learn? Well, what did I learn? And what did I learn? What actions did I take? What were the results? Maybe take a look at that and see, you know what? Last time I did XYZ, X worked out okay, Y not so much, Z was a complete disaster. Maybe I need to lean in a little bit more on what I did for X. If there's similarities in a situation, you could potentially put into action or try some of the things you tried in the past that worked out, and then try those and see, hopefully that will help, I guess, alleviate the situation a little bit for this time around. And this card speaks to a very practical energy. A lot of Aries I know are very practical people. So maybe you know that right now your job is less than ideal. And because one of the partners is sick and you have to pick up the slack and you're completely just on the verge of burnout and things are very chaotic, there's not a lot of structure, is because you are trying to figure out how to juggle your own responsibilities in addition to all the new responsibilities. This card speaks to just be very practical. Ask yourself, is there a budget in the business right now to hire some part-time help? Because if you were to get complete burnout and have to take time off, then maybe in the long run, that's even worse for the business and things will go completely kaput. So be practical and see, can I hire at least a part-time help to come in 3 days a week that would they can handle some of the things I really don't enjoy. Maybe it's bookkeeping, maybe it's cold calling, maybe it's to customer service. So if they are able to do the things I really don't enjoy, perhaps that will free me up and work on the things that will truly bring money, that truly allow me to be creative and truly let me take charge of my business. Or perhaps another way is your marriage or your business is on the verge of breakdown. And then you ask yourself, you know what, I could just not deal with it, but then things will become completely a disaster and go up in bigger flame. Maybe this is a good time for me and my partner to have a genuine heart-to-heart to talk. We either go on vacation for 2-3 days and then reconnect, where we get ourselves a marriage counselor or a relationship therapist. I mean, it's not sexy and glamour, but at least this will rein the situation and prevent things from deteriorating even worse in the long run. Or in other situations, if you're dealing with like a lot of school closure and you're a parent, you have to work. If the budget allows, you could, well, there's two different ways, right? If you can't afford to have childcare, maybe seeing there's a way to partner up with other parents in your neighborhood that you trust and pull together the resources and hire some additional help at least part of the day that free you up to focus on your work, so you're not a complete burnout mess. Or if you have family nearby that you could lean in for help at least one day a week, that will at least help you to be able to get a little bit of breathing room. Or if you're in a good situation and financially you're able to do it, hire like full-time help, or hire a tutor that helps your child or children to do their homework. That way it gives you a little bit of breathing room. So this card definitely speaks to the energy of being practical and approach your situation in a very matter-of-fact way. Take emotion out of it, because a lot of times when we're getting overly emotional, filled with stress, that's a big recipe for disaster. So if you're able to approach a situation and matter-of-factly take the emotion out of it, just be very practical. Know that, I want to have a better relationship. I want to be less stressed. I want to have better relation with my children. But, maybe knowing that you're not the ideal person to help your kids with studies because you're too stressed out and they don't listen to you. So hire the additional help or find ways to, I guess, address the issue at hand without getting too emotional about it. Maybe could take a little bit pressure off of everyone and really help you to relieve your situation and help you be more free in the long run. So I guess it comes down to, when I sum it up, it comes down to, I think for a lot of you, when you feel like you're getting all these additional boring responsibilities, I guess, and when you're not able to really have a control over your day-to-day life, when you're not able to really use your creative energy and focus on the projects that you really enjoy, that lights a fire in terms of like passion, creativity, that's when you feel like you will be really feeling stuck. And some of the potential situation or solution is to lean on family and friends that you trust to help you and really be able to articulate and be honest with yourself and be able to speak your truth to those around you so they are able to work alongside with you to adjust the situations and offer their help. And then also look at your past to see if you have dealt with similar situations and what did you learn from that and what are some of the things you can deploy this time around. And also just approach this situation in a very matter-of-fact way and take emotion out of things and just be very practical. Know what is it you're trying to achieve long-term and see what are some of the practical way that you can achieve or resolve the situation, or at least alleviate it. And I think that will help you feel a lot more free and a lot more happy and a lot less stuck in the long run. And this is what I see for my Aries friends. So if you have Sun, Moon, or Aries, if you have Sun, Moon, or rising sign Aries, I hope this was especially helpful for you. And please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and I hope that I speak to you guys again very soon. Have a fantastic day, everyone.